Are you ready for what's coming? The food on your grocery store shelves might not be there tomorrow. I've spent weeks researching what's happening to our food supply, and what I found shocked me. By May 1st, 2025, certain essential foods might become scarce or completely unavailable. Not trying to scare you, just sharing facts. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we help you stay prepared, not scared. Today, I'm covering the 11 survival food items you absolutely must get before May 1st. Don't close this video thinking it's just another doom prediction. I've checked multiple sources, analyzed supply chain reports, and talked with industry insiders. This information could make all the difference for your family in the coming months. Stay with me until the end, because item number 7 surprised even me, and it's something most preppers completely overlook. Let's dive in. So, why May 1st specifically? 3 critical factors are converging at once. First, global wheat reserves are at their lowest point in 15 years due to recent harvest failures in key regions. Second, fuel prices are expected to jump 22% by late April, dramatically increasing food transportation costs overnight. Third, several major food processing facilities remain offline after last month's cybersecurity incidents. This perfect storm hits right as summer demand begins to surge. I'm not saying shelves will be empty, but certain essentials will become either extremely expensive or temporarily unavailable. The good news? With simple preparation now, you won't be among the panicked crowds when these changes hit. Taking action today means security tomorrow. Remember, this isn't about hoarding or panic buying. It's about smart preparation with items that store well and provide real nutritional value during uncertain times. Item 1. Dried beans and lentils. Let's talk about one of the most underrated powerhouse foods you need to have before May 1st, 2025. Dried beans and lentils. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Beans? Really? But here's the thing. If things take a turn and grocery stores get wiped out again like we've seen in recent years, beans and lentils are going to be absolute gold in your pantry. These little legumes are nothing short of survival superstars. They're loaded with plant-based protein, and I'm talking serious protein. A single cup of cooked lentils packs around 18 grams. Combine that with their high-fiber, slow-digesting carbs and essential minerals like iron and potassium, and what you've got is a food that fills you up, fuels your body, and keeps your energy steady. That's exactly what you need when stress is high and food options are limited. And here's the kicker. They're cheap. With inflation pushing prices of meat and eggs higher every month, beans and lentils give you a way to stay nourished on a tight budget. They also store beautifully. Properly sealed in a cool, dark place, they can last 10 years or more. That's not a guess. That's backed by research from universities like Utah State, who have tested long-term food storage for decades. But here's where it gets serious. Just this year, India, the world's largest consumer and one of the largest producers of pulses, announced they're facing crop yield challenges due to erratic weather and fertilizer issues. That kind of disruption can ripple across global markets fast. In fact, lentil prices have already seen spikes in some regions, a signal that shortages could hit hard and without much warning. So, what can you do right now? First, start small. Stock up with about 10 to 15 pounds per person. Mix it up. Get black beans, navy beans, chickpeas, red lentils, green lentils, and pinto, all of them. The variety helps avoid food fatigue and gives you more recipe flexibility. And don't just toss the bags in your pantry. Repackage them into airtight containers or food-grade buckets with oxygen absorbers. That'll protect them from moisture, bugs, and light. The 3 enemies of shelf-stable food. You don't need anything fancy. Even mason jars or mylar bags will do the trick. Here's the best part. They're versatile. You can turn a handful of lentils into soup, toss black beans into rice, mash chickpeas for patties, or season kidney beans for chili. In a survival situation, that kind of variety is not just convenient, it keeps morale up, especially when food is one of the few comforts you've got left. Bottom line, dried beans and lentils are cheap, last forever, power your body, and give you endless options. If there's one item you should be throwing into your emergency stash this week, it's this. Don't wait for shelves to clear out again. Beat the rush and stock up now while you still can. Item 2. White rice. When people think of survival food, they usually imagine something exotic, freeze-dried meals, protein powders, or maybe MREs. But the real MVP? It's been sitting quietly on the bottom shelf of your pantry for years. White rice. Let me put this in perspective. A single 5-gallon bucket of white rice holds nearly 30,000 calories. That's not just food. That's survival insurance. In a grid-down situation or during a supply chain breakdown, and let's be honest, we've had plenty of those recently, you're going to want food that's reliable, shelf-stable, and energy-dense. White rice checks every box. You can store it for up to 30 years. Yes, 3 decades. If you keep it properly sealed in a cool, dark place. Think Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers, inside a food-grade bucket, or even vacuum-sealed jars if you're short on space. It's not fancy, but it works. And in emergencies, it's exactly what you want. Simple, filling, and shelf-stable. But here's where it gets interesting, and a little alarming. Global rice supplies are under pressure. According to recent reports from the USDA and Bloomberg, countries like India, the world's largest rice exporter, have cut back their shipments due to inflation and extreme weather. That means less rice on the global market and higher prices ahead. We've already seen it spike 15% in some areas. And if another drought hits Southeast Asia or the conflict in the Red Sea disrupts trade routes again, expect another round of shortages at your local store. So the real question becomes, how much should you have? For preppers, the golden rule is about 5 pounds per person per month. That's enough to rotate through and still keep a solid supply. For a family of 4, that's 60 pounds every quarter. It's affordable now, but it may not be for long. White rice isn't just filler. It's a base for beans, soups, stews, and stir-fries. It stretches meals, comforts kids, and keeps energy levels up when you need it most. In a long-term emergency, it can even become currency. People will trade for food that lasts. Here's the bottom line. If your pantry doesn't have rice, it's not ready. And remember, it's not about panic. It's about peace of mind. Because when shelves go empty, the quiet, humble bag of rice in your prepper pantry, that's the kind of thing that can change everything. Did you know that in a crisis, your body's protein needs actually increase by up to 25%? That's right. And item number 3 on our must-have list is going to solve this problem. Canned meats. But not just any canned meats. I'm talking about strategic protein sources that could make all the difference when things get tough. Listen, when the power goes out and your freezer becomes useless, these little protein powerhouses will be your best friend. Canned tuna, chicken, salmon, and even Spam aren't just convenient. They're survival essentials that need zero refrigeration. They're already cooked and ready to eat straight from the can if necessary. No heat, no prep, just nutrition when you need it most. I've actually been in a 3-day blackout where these were absolute lifesavers for my family. I personally keep at least 30 cans in my stockpile at all times. Tuna for quick meals, chicken for comfort food recipes, and yes, even Spam, which packs a whopping 13 grams of protein per serving. But don't overlook some of the less obvious options like corned beef, which has an incredible shelf life, or sardines, which aren't just protein-packed, but also give you those omega-3 fatty acids that keep your brain functioning at its best during stressful situations. I was skeptical about sardines until I tried them with a little hot sauce during a camping trip. A game changer. But here's the trick most preppers miss. You need a proper rotation system. I use the first in, first out method. When I buy new cans, they go in the back, and I use from the front. I write the purchase date on each can with a Sharpie. Trust me, eating expired meat during an emergency is something you absolutely want to avoid. My neighbor learned this the hard way during our last major storm. Let's just say food poisoning during a crisis turns one problem into 2 very nasty problems. And pay attention to those best buy dates. While canned meats can last 2, 5 years, their nutritional value starts declining after the date on the label. Don't be that person who stocks up once and forgets about it. I actually set calendar reminders every 6 months to check my supply. It sounds extreme until you're the only one on your block with safe protein sources when grocery deliveries stop. Here's a pro tip most people miss. Diversify your canned meat selection based on sodium content. Some options like Spam are high in salt, which isn't ideal if you're rationing water. Balance these with lower sodium options like some canned chicken varieties, and always grab the water-packed tuna rather than the oil-packed for longer shelf life. Grab at least 3 cans per person per week for your emergency supply. That means for a family of 4, you're looking at a minimum of 12 cans weekly. Seems like a lot until you realize it's the difference between going hungry and staying strong when it matters most. Your future self will thank you when grocery stores look like ghost towns and everyone else is scrambling. If you're finding this helpful, hit that like button right now. It helps more people see this potentially life-saving information. And drop a comment telling me which canned meat is your go-to survival food. I always find the best tips come from you guys. Item 4. Honey. Next up is something truly remarkable. Honey. This isn't just any survival food. Honey is basically immortal. Archaeologists have found 3,000-year-old honey in Egyptian tombs that was still perfectly edible. That's right, honey never spoils if stored properly. Why is honey such a survival superstar? First, its high sugar content and low moisture create an environment where bacteria simply can't survive. Plus, bees add an enzyme that produces hydrogen peroxide, giving honey natural antibacterial properties. But honey isn't just for sweetening your tea. In a crisis, it becomes a medical resource. It can help treat wounds, soothe sore throats, and boost your immune system. I personally used honey on a nasty cut last year when I was camping and had no first aid kit. It worked amazingly well. Store your honey in glass jars rather than plastic, and keep it in a cool, dry place away from direct sunlight. Don't refrigerate it. This causes crystallization. If your honey does crystallize, simply place the jar in warm water to return it to liquid form. How much should you stock? Aim for at least 3 pounds per person in your household. This amount ensures you'll have enough for both consumption and potential medicinal uses. Here's something most people don't know. Darker honey varieties like buckwheat and manuka have higher antioxidant levels and stronger antibacterial properties than lighter varieties. If you can find them, they're worth the extra cost for survival purposes. Have you already stocked up on honey? Drop a comment below with your favorite type and how you use it. Item 5. Salt. Let me tell you something that might shock you. If everything in your pantry vanished tomorrow, salt would be one of the most devastating losses. Not your pasta, not your canned goods. Salt. Why? Because salt isn't just seasoning. It's survival. It's one of the few items that can literally preserve food, purify wounds, and keep your body functioning when resources are scarce. In fact, salt was once so valuable that it was used as currency. Roman soldiers were sometimes paid in salt, which is where the word salary comes from. Even wars have been fought over it. And yet today, we toss those little paper shakers around like it's nothing. But when the trucks stop running and refrigeration fails, salt suddenly becomes one of the most important things in your home. Let's break this down. Salt draws out moisture. And moisture is the lifeline for bacteria, mold, and spoilage. By salting meat, fish, or even vegetables, you're creating an environment where most harmful microorganisms simply can't survive. That's why before modern fridges, pioneers survived harsh winters with salted pork hanging in the cellar. And today, that same method could save your food stores if the grid goes down. But not all salt is created equal. For preservation, you need to skip the table salt with iodine and anti-caking agents. Those additives can mess with the look and shelf life of your preserved food. Instead, stock up on canning salt. It's pure, fine-grained sodium chloride and dissolves quickly in brine. Or go for Himalayan pink salt, which is rich in trace minerals and adds a little nutritional bonus. Sea salt is great too, especially if it's coarse. Just make sure it's food grade and not mixed with other minerals that can spoil. Now, let's talk storage. Salt itself doesn't spoil. It's rock, but it's also hygroscopic, meaning it pulls moisture from the air, which makes it clump, harden, and even degrade if stored poorly. Always keep it in airtight containers. Think mason jars with rubber gaskets, mylar bags with oxygen absorbers, or heavy-duty food-grade buckets with gamma lids. Avoid metal containers. Salt will corrode them over time, and nobody wants rust in their seasoning. How much should you store? Well, for long-term prepping, experts recommend a minimum of 10 pounds of salt per person per year. That might sound like a lot, until you remember you're using it to preserve meats, make pickled vegetables, season every meal, and even for bartering should it come to that. And don't forget, salt isn't just for food. You can use it to clean cookware, disinfect surfaces, soothe a sore throat, relieve insect bites, and even scrub out funky smells from water containers. It's a multi-purpose powerhouse that every serious prepper needs to stock in bulk. So if you're prepping smart, salt isn't optional, it's non-negotiable. And with global supply chains still shaky and droughts impacting salt harvesting in places like India and the US, prices could spike. Don't wait until you're desperate to realize how important this humble white crystal really is. Get it now, store it well, and thank yourself later. Item 6. Powdered milk. Did you know that if grocery stores closed tomorrow, most families would run out of milk within 48 hours? That's why powdered milk is number 6 on our survival foods list. Look, I get it. Powdered milk doesn't sound exciting. But when fresh milk becomes unavailable or unaffordable, you'll be grateful you stocked up on this versatile powder. First off, powdered milk is packed with calcium and protein. Just 1 cup gives you about 30% of your daily calcium needs. During a crisis, maintaining strong bones and teeth isn't just nice, it's necessary. Beyond nutrition, powdered milk is a kitchen game changer. You can use it for baking bread, making pancakes, or creating creamy soups without refrigeration. I've even used it to make emergency baby formula when stores ran out during the last supply chain crisis. Now, let's talk storage. Keep powdered milk in airtight containers away from light and moisture. Most brands last 2-3 years unopened, but properly stored, they can remain usable for up to 10 years. I recommend those mylar bags with oxygen absorbers for serious long-term storage. How much should you stock? Calculate 1 pound per person per month as a minimum. For a family of 4, that's at least 48 pounds for a year's supply. When using powdered milk, mix it thoroughly with cool water first, then chill it overnight for the best taste. My personal hack? Add a tiny drop of vanilla extract to improve the flavor dramatically. Don't wait until everyone else is panic buying. Grab powdered milk on your next shopping trip. Your future self will thank you when May 1st rolls around. Item 7. Rolled oats. Did you know that rolled oats can stay good for up to 30 years when stored properly? That's right, this humble breakfast food could feed your family through almost any crisis. Rolled oats are a survival goldmine. They're packed with fiber that keeps you full longer and helps your digestion stay on track when stress is high. 1 small cup provides about 4 grams of protein and essential nutrients your body needs. Don't just think breakfast with oats. They're incredibly versatile. You can make oatmeal cookies, grind them into flour for baking, use them as a meat extender in loaves and burgers, or even create an oat milk alternative when dairy isn't available. For storage, keep your oats in airtight containers away from moisture. Food-grade buckets with Gamma Seal lids are perfect. Add oxygen absorbers if you're planning for long-term storage. I keep mine in several smaller containers rather than one big one. This way I can open what I need without exposing my entire supply. Quick serving tip. Pre-portion single servings in Ziploc bags with your favorite dried fruits and nuts. Just add hot water when needed. No measuring or thinking is required during stressful situations. Remember, folks, while instant oats are convenient, they don't store as long as regular rolled oats. The extra 5 minutes of cooking time is worth the extended shelf life. Don't wait until the shelves are empty. Grab at least 20 pounds of rolled oats per person in your household before May 1st. Your future self will thank you. Now let's move on to item number 8, which pairs perfectly with these oats. Item 8. Cooking oils. You probably have a bottle of cooking oil in your kitchen right now. Maybe canola, maybe olive. But here's the thing no one tells you. In a crisis situation, that bottle could quietly become useless, or even dangerous. Cooking oils are one of the most overlooked survival essentials, yet they're absolutely vital. Why? First, they're calorie-dense. Just a single tablespoon packs over 120 calories. That matters when your body needs fuel, and you can't count on 3 square meals a day. Second, they're necessary for basic cooking. You need oil to saute, fry, bake, and even preserve. But there's a problem. Most oils, especially the ones people keep in plastic bottles, don't last as long as you think. Canola oil? About 12 months if you're lucky. Soybean oil? Even worse. Not only does it go rancid quickly, but over 90% of it is genetically modified, and it's in almost everything processed. What's more alarming is that rancid oil isn't always obvious. It might smell a little off, but not in a way that screams, "Don't eat me." And according to recent research, long-term consumption of oxidized oils may do more than just taste bad. It could suppress your immune system and even increase your risk of cancer. So what oils should you be stockpiling before May 1st? Let's start with coconut oil. It's practically the prepper's gold. Incredibly shelf-stable, up to 2 years, packed with healthy fats, and doesn't require refrigeration. You can cook with it, use it on your skin, and even brush your teeth with it if you're out of toothpaste. If you're storing just one oil, coconut should be at the top of your list. Another winner? Peanut oil. It's high in monounsaturated fats, the ones that are less likely to oxidize, and has a smoke point that's perfect for frying and high-heat cooking. Properly stored, peanut oil can last over a year in the pantry. The only caveat? Watch out for allergies in your household or community. And if you're looking for something versatile, sunflower oil and olive oil are solid backups. They're rich in antioxidants and can stretch over 18 months if stored in dark glass bottles away from light and heat. Now, here's where most people go wrong. Storage. Oils don't like heat, or air, or light. That sunny windowsill in your kitchen? It's slowly cooking your oil even when you're not using it. If you want your stash to last, keep oils in dark, airtight containers, preferably glass or metal, and store them in a cool, dark space, like a basement or a cabinet far from your stove. The magic number? Below 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Some studies show that olive oil stored around 59 degrees Fahrenheit showed no rancidity after 3 years. Oh, and here's a bonus tip most people don't know. Some manufacturers now sell nitrogen-flushed oil bottles. That's right. They remove the oxygen before sealing the bottle, giving your oil an extra-long shelf life with no preservatives required. If you see one, grab it. So don't let this critical prep fall through the cracks. Rotate your bottles. Don't overbuy what you won't use in a year. And whatever you do, don't count on that dusty bottle of generic oil hiding in the back of the pantry. Your survival pantry deserves better. Number 9. On our list, pasta. And I'm not just talking about any pasta. Imagine this. The power's been out for days. You're hungry, tired, and your family needs a filling meal now. What do you reach for? Pasta is your answer. Here's why it's a no-brainer for your emergency stash. You can cook it in just minutes using minimal water. Even better, 1 pound of pasta feeds a family of 4 for practically pennies per serving. The versatility is insane. Toss it with canned sauce, mix it with your emergency tuna, or even eat it plain with a bit of oil and salt. Kids love it, adults love it. It's comfort food when you need it most. For storage, keep pasta in airtight containers. Those plastic bins with secure lids? Perfect. Transfer pasta from the original packaging immediately. Those cardboard boxes are basically invitations for weevils and moisture. How much should you stock? I recommend at least 20 pounds per person for a 3-month supply. That might sound like a lot, but when other foods run low, pasta becomes your reliable daily staple. And here's something most experts won't tell you. White pasta lasts longer than whole wheat. While whole wheat is healthier, the natural oils make it spoil faster. In survival situations, white pasta gives you more bang for your buck with a 30-plus year shelf life when stored correctly. Don't wait until the shelves are empty. The pasta aisle is already showing signs of strain in certain regions. Grab yours today while prices remain reasonable. Now, listen closely. Item number 10 might shock you. While everyone's fighting over canned goods, the smart preppers are quietly stocking up on dehydrated vegetables. Why? Simple. When fresh produce disappears from shelves, your body will still need those crucial vitamins and minerals. Without them, your health crashes fast. Dehydrated veggies take up barely any space but pack the same nutritional punch as fresh ones. And get this, they last up to 25 years when stored properly. That's not a typo. The best varieties to grab now are carrots, onions, bell peppers, and mushrooms. These are flavor foundations for almost any meal. Peas and corn are also must-haves. They'll make your survival meals actually enjoyable. Here's what most people get wrong about dehydrated veggies. You can't just throw them in water and expect magic. For best results, use hot water and give them at least 20 minutes to rehydrate, or add them directly to soups and stews. They'll absorb liquid while cooking. One more thing, and this is critical, store these in airtight containers away from light and moisture. One tiny leak can ruin your entire supply. Think about it. Would you rather have nutritious meals during a crisis, or risk your family's health with a diet of just rice and beans? The choice is yours, but time is running out before May 1st. Did you know that over 90% of Americans have at least one vitamin deficiency during normal times? Now imagine what happens during a crisis when your diet becomes extremely limited. Item number 11 on our survival food list is absolutely critical: multivitamins. These aren't just supplements, they're your nutritional insurance policy. When you're living off stored food, your diet becomes narrower. You'll miss fresh fruits and vegetables. Your body will crave nutrients it's not getting. This is where multivitamins become lifesavers. Literally. Don't just grab any bottle off the shelf. Look for complete multivitamins with minerals included. The ones with higher percentages of daily values are worth the extra cost here. I personally recommend getting ones with extra vitamins D and C for immune support. For families, get both adult and children's formulations. And here's a tip most preppers miss. Get them in bottles, not gummies. Gummies degrade faster and attract moisture. Store them in cool, dark places and check expiration dates. Most last 2-3 years unopened, but you should be rotating your supply anyway. Without multivitamins, conditions like scurvy can develop in just 1-3 months of vitamin C deficiency. That's not something you want to deal with when medical help might be limited. If you only take action on one item from this video, make it this one. Your body can survive on limited food choices temporarily, but not without essential nutrients. What vitamins are you currently stocking? Drop a comment below and let me know what you're adding to your prep list after watching this. Before you rush out to stock up, here are 3 essential bonus tips that might just save your life. First, don't forget water. You can survive weeks without food, but only days without water. Store at least 1 gallon per person per day. Aim for a minimum 2-week supply. That's 14 gallons per person. Those blue water containers aren't just for camping, they're your lifeline when the taps run dry. Next, rotation is crucial. The worst disaster scenario? Opening your emergency food to find it spoiled. Use a simple first in, first out system. Write purchase dates with a marker. Check your supplies monthly and use older items in your regular cooking. Remember, store what you eat what you store. Lastly, your containers make or break your preps. Oxygen and moisture are your enemies. Invest in Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers for rice and beans. For pasta and oats, food-grade buckets with Gamma Seal lids are worth every penny. Mason jars work great for smaller items, but keep them in dark places. Here's a wake-up call. 78% of Americans who experience food shortages had stored food that went bad because of poor storage. Don't be in that statistic. What storage methods are you using right now? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one and reply to as many as I can. We've just covered the 11 survival food items you absolutely must have before May 1st, 2025. This isn't about panic buying, it's about being smart and prepared. Think about it. Having dried beans, rice, canned meats, honey, salt, powdered milk, oats, cooking oils, pasta, Dehydrated veggies and multivitamins puts you ahead of 95% of people when supply chains get shaky. Start small if you need to. Even grabbing an extra bag of rice and beans each grocery trip adds up fast. The peace of mind is worth far more than what you'll spend. This channel is dedicated to helping you stay ready for whatever comes. If this video helped you, smash that like button and subscribe for more practical survival tips every week. Remember, the difference between panic and preparedness is doing it before you need to. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next video.